Yes. In this lesson, we shall learn about integers. Well, we are familiar with some numbers already. We know that we have a set of numbers called natural numbers, and those are the numbers from 1, 2, 3. Because if we saw something in nature and we wanted to count it, then surely we would start with the number 1, 1 rock, 2 rocks, or 1 mango, 2 mangoes, 17 mangoes. And so the natural numbers begin with the number 1. We also know that we have a set of numbers called whole numbers, and the whole numbers basically are the same as the natural numbers, only here we begin with the number 0. So we introduce the number 0 as part of the set of whole numbers. And in this lesson we shall be learning about another set of numbers called integers. So what are the integers? Well, the integers are basically our whole numbers and their opposites, which are their negative numbers, the negative opposites of our whole numbers. And what does it mean? Well, we should be aware that we have numbers which we call negative numbers, because imagine that you were standing on a platform and you were elevated above the platform, maybe 3 meters, and somebody else was at 2 meters, and somebody at 1 meter, and somebody on the ground, which was 0. And then if we dug a hole and somebody was in that hole, well, how would we speak about where that person is? So we'd use negative 1 meter, negative 2 meters, negative 3 meters, and on, to show that in this case the person is below the ground. Another example would be, of course, the thermometer. You know, you could have a temperature which is above 0 degrees, like maybe now it's 21 degrees, it's quite warm, or it can be at 0 degrees, which is the temperature at which water freezes, you might know that, and it could be below 0, so it could be negative 1, negative 2, and that's a very cold temperature. So the concept of negative numbers comes in because sometimes we have to speak about numbers which are less than 0, and they're shown here on our number line. So our number line, when we start at 0, which is the center of the number line, and we move to the right, then the numbers are getting bigger and becoming more positive. So positive 1, positive 2, positive 3, positive 4, positive 5. And you will note that even though they're positive, and the positive symbol is this sign here, like the plus sign, we have not written it because the rule is you don't have to write the positive symbol. You can do, but you don't have to. Well, if we move from the 0 to the left, then we're moving into the negative direction. So we're becoming more negative, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, and the numbers are in fact getting smaller, and we'll have more to say about that in a moment. Well, let's make sure we understand this concept very well by looking at an example of a question that might come up on this concept of integers. Well, here we have a number line again, and we are asked to indicate on this number line where negative 4 is. Well, negative 4 is here. Negative 4, that's question number 1. And we would write it a minus sign and a 4, and we would mention it as negative 4. Negative, the next one is 7. Well, 7 would be on this side of the number line, and note that all the numbers, the negative and the positive, go on forever in each direction to infinity. So 7 is written like that, and I don't have to write the positive sign, but I could do for the sake of completion. Positive 3 again would be written as this, or I could add the positive sign, and then negative 8, and then 6 can be written like this, or we can put a positive sign in front of it. So we should understand that with integers, the negative numbers must always have the sign, the negative sign, whereas the positives can have, or if we omit it, we know that automatically it is a positive number. Well, you should understand this concept so that you can use it to answer some questions.